A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant move to ease trade tensions, the Canadian government has announced the cancellation of a digital services tax that was set to impact major U.S. tech companies, just days after President Trump threatened to impose higher tariffs on Canadian goods. The tax, which was scheduled to take effect on June 30th, 2025, aimed to hold tech giants like Google and Amazon accountable for their services in Canada, but it has now been rescinded to prevent further escalation in trade disputes. Canada's Finance Minister, François-Philippe Champagne, stated that the decision to withdraw the tax was made in anticipation of a mutually beneficial comprehensive trade arrangement with the United States. This announcement came after Trump had publicly condemned the tax as a direct and blatant attack on the U.S., leading him to break off trade talks with Canada and threaten new tariffs within a week. The situation escalated quickly as Trump's administration currently imposes a 25% tax on Canadian imports not covered by the USMCA trade agreement, alongside a 50% tax on aluminum and steel from Canada. The backdrop of this trade conflict is a looming deadline of July 9th, when the Trump administration plans to implement increased tariffs on various countries, a move that has already rattled the stock market. The Canadian digital services tax was projected to generate approximately 5.9 billion Canadian dollars, $4.2 billion US dollars, over 5 years. But the Canadian government has opted to prioritize negotiations over revenue from this tax. The decision indicates a strategic pivot by Canada, aiming to stabilize its trading relationship with the U.S. and secure access to U.S. markets for Canadian companies. In the wake of this development, trade talks are set to resume, with both nations hopeful for a resolution by July 21, 2025. The economic implications of these negotiations are significant, as the U.S. is Canada's largest trading partner. The complexity of the trade discussions is underscored by the mixed signals from the Trump administration regarding the potential for an extension of the tariff deadline. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has expressed optimism that trade deals with major partners could be finalized by Labor Day, but the uncertainty remains as the clock ticks toward the July deadline. As the situation unfolds, all eyes will be on the outcomes of the renewed negotiations and whether they can avert a costly trade war. The stakes are high, not only for Canada and the U.S., but for global markets that are watching closely. The recent back and forth demonstrates the delicate balance of international trade relations and the potential for economic repercussions that could arise from tariff disputes. As negotiations continue, both countries will need to navigate their interests carefully to reach a satisfactory agreement that avoids further trade barriers and fosters economic cooperation. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.